But this balloon is like you and me, and these other balloons are you and me as well. And this is actually the person that builds on sand too. When we build on sand, this is how we are in our faith. We're like a balloon. We're like full of air, right? And so this is the person that reads the Bible once a year, that doesn't spend time in their Word. It's you and me, you know. It's like sometimes we struggle to do that, and so we're at that point we're building our faith on something that's on when we're not in the Word, guys. We're not really doing it well. And so this needle here represents like all the struggles that we're gonna face, all the sin that's gonna come our way, all the temptations. And so this is like the wind. This is the wind. And this is you and me when our faith is not really where it needs to be, right? And that's exactly how our walk, what happens to our walk.
I was holding your age.
Okay, good. Keep doing it. And so this is you and me when we come to church. Sundays and Wednesdays and Fridays. Like this is me and you when we're in this building. And we think the deception there is that that's all we need. All we need to do is meet up with brothers and sisters a couple hours a week, and we're going to be okay. And here's these same temptations, these same struggles that you're going to face. But since you think that's enough, right? You think those 3 hours are going to be enough, and then the temptation is really coming, and all the adversity that you have is going to happen, and that's exactly what happens. And this is us. When we're preaching a gospel that we don't really understand. It is us when we're sharing the word with people, but we ourselves have not really don't understand it ourselves. We have not spent the time to be discipled. We have not spent the time to learn. And nonetheless, we want to act godly and be righteous. And the same temptations, all these temptations that might happen, might occur, all the hurt that you're going to suffer, everything's going to happen. And you want to cover the baby's ears. And that's exactly what happens. And this is really interesting, right? Because here we have two samples of concrete. And concrete's basically almost rock, right? And even if you're like really trying, if you really want to do it, let's say you worship, right? Let's say that you're on the worship team at your church. Say you have a Bible study. Let's say you have you're part of a young adult group ministry, right? Let's say that you're really about it, right? But it's just if you're just doing it out of tradition, without being radically changed inside, then you're just giving the appearance of godliness. In other words, you're giving the appearance that you're a rock, that you built on rock. And even like this one, right? This is you and me, and this is like us, right? When we like fake it, because we break so easily. This is exactly who we are, and we broke. And this is no good anymore. And in fact, this probably can get thrown away. But here's something different, right? Here's something that's not gonna break. I can't break this. Like even if I put the needle through it, I might be able to scratch it a little bit. But it's not gonna affect its composure, right? So in other words, when you guys are really living a life that's for change, like even temptation, it's gonna hit you, it might scratch you, but it's not really gonna change your composure. You might have a scratch there or something like this. But at the end of the day, it's so you're still, when help comes, your house is not gonna fall over. Right? And this actually I actually built this, and this is actually, I know the ingredients to build this, right? And I went ahead and just kind of want to show you. There's different materials here that build this up, right? And so as you guys are being transformed, you guys are also going to have to take in different stuff, right? And so these things that you're going to be taking on, there will be community. will be spending time in the Word, prayer, worshiping God, meeting with people, being discipling others. These things are going to compose together to come together into something that's solid, right? And this rock is actually Christ. This rock is complete in Jesus. And in fact, the Bible tells us this. In 1 Corinthians 3:11, it says, "For no one can lay any other foundation than what has been laid down." That foundation is Jesus Christ. So, all that to say, guys, that strong transformation that's going to occur in you is going to be Jesus in you. So you're going to go from being a balloon to being concrete, to being a rock. And that is our calling. If you look at 2 Corinthians 5:17, it says, "Therefore, if anyone's in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here." And so the new is here. You guys have been made into that. You guys are that. And continue to build on that. Because as you continue to build on that, then you're going to be reflecting what God has called you to do. What God has called you to take care of. What God has called you to steward. And the one thing that's going to keep you away from that is sin. And so temptations are going to come your way. But if you're like a rock, then it's okay. You might have a scratch here and then, but ultimately your faith is going to be on something solid. And so I just want to thank God that God is going to move us in that direction. And I really want to encourage you guys. Don't leave it here. Take it out. Like, be rock. And that rock is Jesus.